welcome back to class. So the next thing I'll be talking to you about on the types of documents is survey plan. So let's go. What is survey plan? Survey plan is a graphical representation of a property. So simple. A graphical representation of a property. It accurately measures the physical boundaries of a piece of land and specifies and qualifies them. Now, survey plan helps you, number one, to measure the physical boundaries. Boundary 1, boundary 2, boundary 3, boundary 4. Now, depending on the number of, points it has, when you have a landed property, usually, because you don't own all the land, there's always a limit to what you own. So that boundary, that particular spot that demarcates your own portion of land from the next or neighbor which you have, are what we call boundaries. By your sides and behind and at the front of your land are your boundaries. So these survey plans helps us to measure what exactly the physical boundaries are, okay, and then it also specifies and qualifies them. It gives details. On your survey plan, we usually have what we call coordinates. All right, what the coordinates to pick, those are the details on the land, the beacons, the points that makes the difference. All right, so now the next is like a map. A survey plan helps in locating a certain property. And this is one beautiful thing that a survey plan does for you. Survey plan helps you to locate where a property is. I bought a property for someone in EP, about 3 acres. And I did all the documents. Funny, the person is not even in Nigeria. The person is in UK. So I did all the documents necessary and registered the property, did the survey plan, register it with the Lagos State Bureau, Land Bureau, and then sent the documents to him in UK. So he needed to start work on the land, fencing and all other things on the land. So without contacting me, he gave the survey plan to the engineer. The engineer picked up the survey plan and located the land. In fact, by the time he got there, he was able to pick the physical boundaries. That has been measured by our own surveyor. So he was able to pick those boundaries. He saw, because we did a corner piece, corner piece that, like you create a beacon, like that portion that shows your own, the limit of your land, where your land, the boundaries of your land. Let me use that one, like a physical object that shows the boundary of your land. Just trying to use a layman language so as to make you understand. So we did that. So he got there, was able to locate the property, and he started working. All right, so that is one fantastic thing survey plan does for you. I said the fact that it's the type of property document, and most times it is being registered in the name of the owner of the property under the land bureau, or in the state where the land is being bought. If it is Ogun, if it is Oyo, if it is Lagos State, wherever, Ogun State, wherever you bought the land, Port Harcourt, you register it in your name, stamped and sealed. Now there are different kinds of survey plan. Let me mention that very quickly. Now there are some survey plans that are not registered. The surveyor picks the boundary, did all this for you, did the measuring of physical boundaries. I mentioned physical boundaries, helped you measure the physical, puts up the specifications, qualifies them, and all of that. After doing that, now the next thing the surveyor needs to do is to proceed by registering it, lodging it in, making it a concrete or a legal, I don't use the word legal tender, making it more tenable. It's tenable by the time it takes it to the the Surveyor General's office, get the necessary signature on it, sign it, lodge it in, make it something that the government can relate with, something that the government is aware of, that this land now belongs to property madam. Now the next after this is the features of survey plan. So I'll be giving you the features of survey plan. From the features of survey plan, you'll be able to understand how it looks, what are the details inside of it. So that is what survey plan does. It helps you to know all the physical boundaries. And also, by the time like I was saying, two types of survey. The first one is when the surveyor has finished picking all the boundaries, quoting them, putting it as a layout or as a representation of the property, helping you put everything that needs to be there. Let me use the word layout. He has done the layout for you, like a sketch. After that, the next is to go and register it. That's the second type of survey plan. Now, some survey plans, the surveyor just did it, picked all the boundary, and did not do any other thing except that. That kind of survey plan, you can still use it to locate your property, because there's what we call coordinate, and that coordinate has been quoted on the survey plan, but it is not registered. It is not yet something you can really claim on if it is not registered and lodged in, all right, and signed by the general surveyor in the general surveyor's office and all of that. So I'm saying this so that you be guided. Now, there are some things you have to watch out for. The seal, the red seal that will be placed on it, and the kind of, when you see a survey plan, the kind of material that is being used usually are cloth-like, not leather-like kind of. That's the kind of material that is being used for survey plans. So you need to be guided. So when you're registering a survey plan, use a good surveyor. In fact, I will recommend use a registered surveyor who can help you register your property very well. All right, so from here I'll move to the features of survey plan. Features of survey plan. Let's